Hi, I'm Brill Workman, and welcome to Slam. In this session, we're going to be talking about what I call is the critical path to success. Now, I call this the critical path to listing more homes. And I could call it the optional path, or could easily be called the ultimate path, or the only path, or the absolutely you must do it this way path. But the critical path follows some very specific key process points, and it makes a big difference on how you present. Let me take you through each one of those steps. The first one is before you ever meet with a client, you have to do your research. You have to become an expert in neighborhoods, communities, and you have to be truly a home selling expert. You can't fake expertise. One of the things that the elite have is that they've sold so many homes that they know the neighborhoods, they know the market. It's oftentimes they've been through that house that they're getting ready to list when it was previously sold. As a new agent, you don't have that same experience. So you have to gain it. You have to do the necessary things to really understand the market. I recommend you put yourself on auto hot sheets, go to the board tours, do office tours, view properties, become a true expert. Your education is critical and you must invest in yourself and do your research. As you view the critical path chart, notice the center of the wheel. The center of the wheel is BRT. BRT stands for Building Relationships with Trust. This is one of the most important parts of the sales process. See, our relationships are the most important assets we have in our business. To build a relationship, you must first focus on common interests and be genuinely interested in who they are and their story. I like to say, be interested, not interesting. The more you can get them to talk about themselves, the more they're going to like you. If you find a photo or something that you have in common, take a few minutes to point it out and then build on it. I love learning about their families, about their work, about their hobbies, about what really drives them. The more you learn and the better your notes are, the higher likelihood of you actually doing a transaction with that family, and even better, building a new lifelong relationship. It's also a good idea to research the client. Know who they are. Go on the social sites. Once you've gone through this research stage and you started doing your prospecting, then you have the opportunity to set a real appointment. The appointment happens, that's when you put your plan into place. You launch the pre listing package. You do your social media research, like I mentioned, on the client, and you do the research on that exact home. You get all of your ducks in a row so that when you're ready for the next phase, you're truly an expert. You've heard it said that you only have a few seconds to make a good first impression. Well, that's absolutely true. From the time you pull up in front of that home to the time you get to the door, I promise you're being watched. Your body language, your energy, the way that you dress, everything is being analyzed by the client. The way that you approach them and greet them at the door oftentimes determines whether or not the rest of the presentation goes well. So I'm going to encourage you to get yourself fired up. It's part of the approach and greeting phase. One of our clients who lists over 400 houses a year, he would listen to like a motivational sales presenter on his way to listing appointment. When he showed up to the appointment, he would already have this sales mindset going because he just finished listening to Zig Ziglar or Tom Hopkins or some of the great sales trainers. He's got this different philosophy, this energy about him that says, I'm a freaking sales animal. And when you pull up to the house, don't sit there and scroll through your phone or check emails or post things on Facebook. Remember, you are being watched. So the approach and greeting is critical. Look over the home. Take it in as you approach the door. Make sure that you have a strong knock and ring the doorbell. When they come to the door, make eye contact. Put out your hand and say, hi, I'm Verl Workman. Great to meet you. Have a firm handshake. Be enthusiastic and have a high level of confidence. This will help set the stage for your ultimate listing presentation. Next, when you walk through the home, you need to create what I call a success swagger. That means I need you to walk with confidence. I like to really look at the house, and as I move through and I point out all the things I like, I'm really interested in the home because I genuinely am interested in the home. I want to know, what's it going to look like when I put my marketing spin on it? How's it going to look online? So I want you to think about where we are in the process right now. We've done our research. We've had a great approach and greeting. We've greeted them with enthusiasm. We've made great eye contact, a good firm handshake, and we ask them how we can serve them. Now, how can I help you or what can I do for you? But I want to know, how can I serve you? It's really important. The next part is where we take them through the needs probe. The needs probe, in part of the critical path, is to find out what's important to them. I want you to go back to the previous SLAM videos. In the pre-appointment process, our assistant may have already called them and asked them why they were selling or what they think their house is worth. And I'm going to do it again. I'm first going to talk to them about, hey, where are you headed? Or what your next move is, or what that looks like, or why they're actually selling. Next, I'm going to ask them to take me through and show me their home. What do they love about their home? What are the memories that they have there? What are the things that attracted them to the home, which is why they bought it in the first place? Then I'm going to get all that information. I'm going to take great notes on it. And then I'm going to make copious notes on my iPad as I go through the home. I might say to the seller as I'm walking through the home, would it be all right with you as if we walk through the home, you give me all the highlights, but I also look at things that a potential buyer's agent might point out to their buyer that could be used as a price lever or a price negotiator. Now, you noticed I asked for permission. Sales is a process. I found that oftentimes a couple $100 in fix-up can bring thousands of dollars in the closing table. It's all part of the needs probe. So I make my list. I understand why they're moving. I get what their motivation is. And now all we have to do is get the house ready to be sold. All right. So the next part is where most agents fail. They want to get right into the presentation before they've actually understood the true needs of the client. This is what separates the average from the elite. See, the elite customizes their presentation based on what they found out during the needs analysis of that client. Oftentimes, I may begin with, now I want you to think about this. Think about the process. We've sent over a pre-listing package, right? So they've been sold on you. You've taken time to build the relationship of trust. Because we talk about that in just a second. You've presented to them in a way that allows them to be comfortable with who they are, understanding their disc profiles. And now it's time to say, now that you've received the pre-listing package, did you get a chance to do your homework? Think about that. If they've done their homework, then quickly move into, do you have any questions? Almost always the questions are, how much do you think we can get for our house? And how much am I going to have to pay you? And of course, how long is it going to take to sell it? When you already know that these are their key questions coming up, it's okay to allow them to ask them. I'd want to know, hey, what are the most important questions? What's weighing on your mind as we talk about the listing process? They're going to say, well, I want to know how much am I get out of my house, and how soon is it going to sell, and what is the net? They want to know how much is going to be in their pocket when it closes. Oftentimes, before I ever get into the commission, I'll say to the client, the commission's irrelevant. It's always the same with everybody. So let me tell you what we do for you, and then I'll do a net sheet with you and show you what that means to your bottom line. Now, based on their needs and based on my analysis of the home, I'm then going to open up the listing presentation. In the next video, we're going to discuss the rest of the critical path and how you close the ultimate listing.
All right, we're just gonna go on to the second one just because there's another part to it. It's only 7 minutes.
Hi, I'm Burl Workman, and welcome to SLAM. This is the second part of the critical path to listing success. In this section, we're going to finish mapping out your path to success, beginning where we left off, and that is opening the listing presentation. The first thing I do when I open the listing presentation is I go through and I hit the things that are important to them. During the needs probe, they're basically writing their own presentation. I want you to think about this for a minute. They tell you what's important to them. So simply give them what they're looking for as part of your presentation. I make sure I focus on the differentiators. Those are the things that we do differently, whether it's the way we market online, or if it's the video we use, or the drone photography. It's the items found in the premium marketing plan. We want to blow them away with the services we provide so that when we get to the commission, it's not an issue. We talk about our standard pricing strategy, how we price the property. I give them their price options based on how long they want their home to be on the market. There's a great video in the BAM series, Buyer Agent Mastery, on how to price homes effectively using one of my favorite agents, Sam Miller's clock pricing strategy. I encourage you to go through BAM and learn how to do that in even more detail. But I stop and I ask them if they have any questions. And of course, here's the buying signals. No more questions. This is when it's really important that you understand the key phrase. Are you ready for it? Just shut up and close. Stop talking. There's no more questions. If the client's ready to list, but you haven't gone through your whole presentation yet, it's okay. Just shut up and close. What I want you to do is say, all right, if you don't have any more questions, then let's get it on the market. Then I'm going to open up my digital document on my iPad. I'm going to then have them press hard and make sure that we sign it. And then I send them electronic copies. I then move into what might be called a trial close. Right? So if they're not ready yet, I'm going to ask some more trial close questions. Let me give you an example of some trial close questions. I might say, I've made a list of 15 things that need to be done before we actually put your home on the market. I'd like to put your house on the market on Thursday night or Friday morning of next week so that we get the weekend agents that are looking for properties and the weekend buyers. Are you able to get things done by Thursday? If the client says yes, then great. Here's your list. Then I put the list date as next Thursday. I stop with the trial. It's called a trial close because you're not saying, will you list with me and pay me commission? What you're saying is, are you willing to get these things done by Thursday? And by them answering yes, then that lets you know they're ready to go. Another trial close might be to have a photographer come out and shoot the home. I might say something like this. Your home's in immaculate shape. We talked about maybe getting the windows cleaned inside and out and having your house cleaner come by before we shoot it. I've got available shoots on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. Which day would it work better to have my photographer come out and shoot the home? You see, the words never come out of my mouth that say, are you ready to list with me and pay me a commission? What I say is, are you ready to have the photographer come out? When they say yes, I then do the paperwork, we get them to sign it, and I stop selling. If for some reason they say no or they give me an objection, I just move to the next phase. And that's the objection handlers. It might be another agent said they could do it for less. Or, when they say that, I want to always ask what the real concern is. Great salespeople have the ability to ask more questions to find out what the real concern is. And then apply great scripts and dialogues to overcome the price objection. It might look something like this. There's 3 things everybody wants when they make a major buying decision. We're all looking for the best price. Would you agree with that? They'll say yes. We all want a high quality product. True. Oh, yeah. And we want the best service. Would it be fair to say that you're going to make your decision tonight based and list your home with whoever gives you the highest quality, the best service, and the lowest price? Well, the client's going to say, well, yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. And then I say, great. Name one product that you're familiar with that has all 3. Highest quality, best service, and the cheapest thing you can find. And then shut up and listen. What's going to happen is they're going to say, well, I can't think of any. I might go through, cars. I'll say, okay, you go. Low price? Yeah. Great service? They're out of business. High quality? Not really. Mercedes? High quality? Absolutely. Low price? No. Great service? Yes. It's amazing you can almost always get 2 of the 3. If the lowest price agent of what you're looking for, which of the other 2 are you willing to give up to get them? You see, if you practice great scripts and dialogues, you're able to resolve any concern. There's also a video in BAM where we talk about overcoming objections and resolving concerns, Burl style. Once you resolve concerns, if for some reason you don't close, which is pretty rare, it's okay. Maybe you're dealing with a high C personality type, and they really do want to think about it. They are really going to concentrate on it, build a spreadsheet about it. It's okay. Some people need to know more information and they have to do their research. And to those people, we have to give them a little bit of space. The last phase is this. We follow up. You must have a follow-up system. The follow-up system should be the same, whether they list that night or not. They should get a thank you card, a follow-up call, a call from the team, a next scheduled appointment, and the next steps being clearly outlined. If they're not ready to go right now, they may be ready to go in 30 days or 60 days. I'll post the date in the listing. I'll post date the listing agreement, and then I'll have them post date it in the signature when they're ready to go, so we can just move forward and not have to get back together. I use every single tool in my arsenal, every arrow in my quiver to move this client from thinking about listing to actually putting it on the market. I follow up with them until they list or tell me to die. I follow up with them until they file a restraining order. I'm going to follow up with them every 2 weeks, every 30 days, depending on whether they're an A, a B, or a C lead, until they actually list. This entire process only works if you understand the most important things. The most important part of the critical path is the entire sales process, and that's in the center. You can only ask the hard questions. You can only take people through overcoming objections and resolving concerns if you've taken the time in the beginning to build your relationship of trust. Building that relationship of trust is at the center of the critical path. If you do this, you'll be able to effectively list the majority of the presentations you go on. I absolutely guarantee it. So let's review the critical path one more time. We do our research the market, research the client, the approach in greeting it, how we greet that client, the needs probe, what is really important to them, and then a presentation that revolves around their needs. We then go into trial close questions and we give them dates or things that need to be done by, get commitments to those. If they give us objections, we then overcome those objections. We resolve those concerns and then we reclose. And last but not least, we follow up. Remember, all of this process, all of the success on the critical path is based on your ability to build that relationship of trust. Once you complete this section, tee up the next client and repeat. As salespeople, we have the privilege to serve the masses. And with that comes the responsibility to serve them with a higher level of confidence. And now you're truly on your way to more listings.
That was so fire. A good presentation.